Hi, everyone. Hope you're having an amazing day and hope your July was great since August is literally right around the corner. Wow. So we finally come to our conclusion of a remarkable destination of the month, Paris, France. We've learned so much, and I hope you truly have left with knowing something you didn't know before, things of that manner. Definitely drop in the comments any upcoming destinations you may want to hear about, or you can also shoot an email over if you have questions or even destinations you want to hear about in the future. I have heard from some people, so thank you. I appreciate it. But I always definitely like to keep them coming. So I know in the future different things as well as things to kind of provide for you guys. So, with that being said, I hope you guys have been following the Olympics as well. Be honest with you, I typically on and off of watching it, but honestly, the opening, how Paris did their opening for it, it was like, wow, like it was truly amazing. And I hope you guys thought the same and are following it as well. However, as promised, I am going to show you my experience from when I was in Paris. Stay tuned to the very end. I have pretty much a full, amazing video that I will be showing you from beginning to end, from everything, highlights, funny moments, all of the above. So, when we a little bit of backstory. So when we went, it was winter pretty much. So it was extremely cold to say the most. So most days, I think we really only had maybe one day that felt like almost like a spring day. And then there was most of the days was pretty cold, some were like cloudy. Time frame, it was around like November, December. But the big reasoning why I also wanted to experience and wanting to go was because of the Christmas markets. I have been a few years back and they were phenomenal. And honestly, they did not disappoint. It's like the perfect time. And honestly, Christmas markets throughout Europe, especially around that time, depending on where you go, they start and go through a certain time frame. But they're just remarkable between the different vendors that they have, what they have out there, the decor, the sightseeing, everything. It really immerses the holiday into the season to experience. So, with that being said, I'm going to go into a brief presentation to kind of like walk you through our day by day of what we did. And then stay tuned to the very end, which is my favorite part, from beginning to end to really see all the things that we experienced. This particular one before I have went, the one before was with an event that was hosted for a company. However, this one was more just friends traveling, exploring the city, and it was amazing. I'm sorry, like even recapping it, I enjoyed Paris, and honestly, it is a destination that hands down definitely will be going back to. But definitely wanting to show you so you can see too, and also give you like a tentative itinerary of what we did. But I have clients that we have curated a variety of different ways. It just depends on the trip itself. And then we also do have our hosted elite retreats that kind of like does touches on a little bit of different things to get like the full experience. Before I go into it, just giving you a recap, this month has been amazing. If you ever have questions, need anything, in the description, you'll see where you can book a free consultation with myself or someone else on my team. You also do have access to some information, things of that manner. Or even if you just want to find out about possible upcoming destination in the future or upcoming things that we're doing, definitely you'll see that in the description as well. Stay tuned because tomorrow is August, and I will be doing a video so that you can see what our next destination of the month is going to be. I'm so excited. I definitely feel like each month the destinations are going to vary all around the world, some local, some international. It's going to be a variety of them, but it's definitely to get you more immersed into where you're going, as well as if you're like, I was thinking about different things, you definitely can see it there. You'll also see throughout the course different things if we have I should say recaps or different things you can see along the way. I will definitely be posting them as well so that you can see it and get the full experience based off of mine's or one of my clients that have been there as well. So, with that being said, welcome to my personal experience on an amazing time in Paris. So, we're going to start. Day one, arrive in Paris. So with this particular trip, some of us came in by train from our first city that we went to, and then others have flew in that day as well. So either way, amazing experience. It was extremely cold. It was a little bit of flurries the first day when we came in. And for some odd reason, don't even ask me why, I lost my voice. I wasn't screaming, I wasn't doing anything crazy, but I literally lost my voice, and it was for a few days too, so it was a very interesting. However, did not let it at all spoil my experience. It was just extremely weird. So when we came in, we did have lunch at this amazing restaurant. It actually was actually walking distance from where we were staying. We stayed at the Lee Belmont. So, the hotel itself is actually walking distance from right there downtown area. If you take a look at my video that I did with the top hotels, it goes into a little bit more detail of um of the I should say hotel itself. But it was in a perfect location. So when we arrived, ended up having lunch here. It was a little bit too early for our rooms to be ready. But the hotel kept our bags, kind of gave us an estimate of when we can come back. Um, ate at this amazing restaurant. Service was phenomenal. Ended up going back to the hotel, freshening up. Rooms were ready. They were gorgeous. The service, hands down, at the hotel itself. Definitely, I highly recommend, especially if you're going for either a small group of you guys or if you want something that's a little bit more not as big, like resort or big fill. It's definitely more smaller, but it doesn't take away from the experience and the elite experience that they give you at the hotel. In the evening, I probably will say we had some amazing food and some amazing experiences throughout our entire trip. However, this by far was one of the most amazing experiences that I will 100% do again. And we offer this at all of our retreats, but also this is a must do for a lot of my clients that go, especially when you have quite a few days you can explore. This place gives you pretty much it's like a 3 to 4 course meal. Everything is created while you're at this chef's experience, and he pairs it with each of your drinks. And he personally walks you through the taste. He walks you through the experience that you're getting this entire thing. So when I tell you hands down, and dessert was my favorite the entire time since we were there. So, highly recommend. He also has some drinks and some things that he specifically created based off of his travels and places that he has been. He's not really a big like franchise and things of that manner, but he did that for a reason. He did it so that these dinners are very small. They're not a lot of people, but he did it because he wants to make sure he has his personal touch on each of the thing and each of the food that you're eating, the drink, and making sure that it is exactly how he wants. And honestly, he did not fail to disappoint with this experience. So I definitely, for our first evening there, set the bar real high. So definitely. And also, it's a small group of people too. So depending on how many people go. When we were there, there was a couple other people that was joined. Everyone was so friendly, so nice, and definitely the entire experience, seen that hands down. Day two, we started off in the morning, had an amazing photo shoot with this amazing photographer. She hands down, I just wish we could just take her anywhere we go because she hands down did everything that we wanted. She even added in like some points that we may have missed or didn't even think about. Definitely highly recommend. For most of our private VIP clients that do elite experiences there, she's pretty much the go-to for all of them. And then she's also the photographer on the retreat itself for the ones that are hosted in destination. So hands down, she's amazing. She nails it every time, and she also knows the spots and the perfect timing that we go, so to make sure she can get the views exactly where we're looking. Then for lunch, we walked our way down to they have like this kind of like a river, but they have like a walk that you can walk down it. And we walked down to do lunch and the sightseeing on the river cruise. This was really nice. They offer 2 different variations of this. We did the lunch one, but they do also offer a dinner one as well. So it just depends on the type of experience, or if you've been before and you're like, I may want to change it up. It's a good way to kind of like flip it. It was really nice for lunch because you were able to really see the detail of the different buildings. They walk you through when you are going past something that they're like, oh, you may want to see it. They'll let you know. The dinner one is really nice because when you go past the Eiffel Tower like it lights up almost on the hour every hour, but at nighttime you can definitely see it. This cruise itself is really nice, and I highly recommend it in general because the food, the service, and it's just something different to do, but you also still are not losing too much of the Paris feel if you're celebrating a special occasion. So when we came, one of my friends, she was celebrating her birthday, and they did this whole thing where, they had like a cake that came out. They actually had like this birthday song that came out on the speaker. Actually, when it first came out, she didn't even know that it was for her. She was like, "Oh, someone's birthday," until it came to her, and then she was like, "Oh, this is for me." So it was amazing. There was also people celebrating anniversaries, honeymoon. They had special things on the table. They have different packages. Some of them may have wine, champagne, sparkling cider, things of that manner. But it definitely makes sure that you know you're celebrating something, and you're in Paris, so you're like it doesn't lose that charm. Is making sure that you're in Paris celebrating, plus they do have their in-house photographer that goes around and take photos, and then later in the evening shows you they do individual photos and they do group photos. So, they show you their photos, so if you wanna make sure you can take something home, that is a great way to, make sure you're embracing the experience. Then in the evening, this was an amazing thing. So this was actually a Christmas market tour by a local guide. So actually it was really nice because in Paris there's so many different there's smaller ones and then there's also bigger ones. There's so many different Christmas markets in Paris. So this was really nice because it actually took us around to some of the major ones, some of the ones you can do shopping. And we did this one so early on. So if there was one that we're like, oh, maybe we want to come back here or we may want to do more shopping, we definitely had time later in the trip to experience it. But this was also nice because it gave the history behind some of the markets we were seeing, as well as throughout the walk, we also took in some of the history of Paris as well. So it was really nice exploring. Obviously, you see our photo there because there was a Santa Claus that was at one of the festivities, and we're like, I'm just saying, when in Paris, why not? So with their Christmas markets, they have an array. One of their biggest ones, which I say biggest because it had so many people there. Like when I say like shoulder to shoulder, yeah, it was a lot of people. But it was really nice because they actually have like rice, they have food. It's like a whole thing. So it's where families can go, friends, if couples, wherever you want to just go out to have a good time. They also do have semi, medium, and smaller markets, which are nice. A lot of those are the ones that actually sell different things that the vendors create, they make. They also have hot wine, which if you've never had it before, honestly, Paris perfect spot to try it. But they definitely have some amazing things, and it's definitely Christmas markets, especially if you're going November, December-ish to like the first week of January. Um, I do recommend trying a couple of them just to see. And typically, a lot of the different districts and a lot of different areas of Paris, they'll have some variation of the Christmas market. You can just find the one you want or try a few of them, like we did. So day 3, which was a very long day, but it was very, very much a one that I definitely easily would do again. So this one right here is this one takes you outside of Paris to more of the countryside. This is also where, which you can see, this is takes us which is the main attraction. You do see a few different castles, some of the vineyards and the wineries and things of that manner. The main thing is what everyone knows it as Sleeping Beauty's castle. Sorry, Beauty and the Beast castle, actually. Sorry. Beauty and the Beast castle, which honestly, it was pretty much one of my main things for doing the thing. When we're doing the tour, I'm huge Disney fan, depending on what's being watched or said. But this is definitely, and I have a ton of clients also that really like it. There's two different variations of this tour. They have this one was like probably like a motor coach, and they take you from Paris. You do like a stop, like a rest stop. Then they'll take you to the castles, and then you have lunch stops and things of that manner, and you do a winery tasting, which is this one did. They also do have a private one, which is just the people in your party that you can do the exact same thing, but it's just your group of people. It just depends. These are full day tours. So by no, like sometimes people are like, maybe I can try to do something in the evening, or maybe you plan. I would not recommend it if you're doing anything, whether it's this type of tour, if you're doing something that's going to the countryside to see one of the other chateaus, anything of that manner, they're full day tours. So you leave early in the morning. You do have pretty much a few hour drive to get there. They do break it up, so you'll have stops and things of that manner. But I don't really recommend trying to, you know, pull yourself, I should say, too much with the whole experience itself. But definitely highly recommend. They do the wine tasting, especially with this one on the way coming back. They do wine tasting. They do have somewhat of a schedule they try to keep to because they want to make sure you can get back into the city before it gets really bad in terms of rush hour. But it's a full day. By the time you get back, you've enjoyed it. The bus is extremely comfortable. The guide phenomenal, because also while you're on the bus for certain areas, they do tell you about what you're riding over. They'll actually make stops so you can take pictures. Hands down, like I said, if you've been to Paris a lot and you're like, I've never been to the countryside, these are great tours. Or if you have a few days in Paris and you're like, I want to do something that maybe a little bit outside the city, I recommend a tour like this, but they're full day tours, which is fine because you got to figure you can explore whatever, and then you can spend the rest of your time in the city. Day 4. So this one right here, did a few different experiences. We walked around Paris, end up just enjoying. This one was more of like a rainy day. So kind of was able to, I should say, see the sights, walk around, explore different things of that manner. The one thing I would say that was actually really good, disregard the pictures. They were doing their own thing. But I would definitely say where the hotel was located was perfect for this type of day because we're like, we didn't really want to do anything too crazy, but because we were so close walking distance, we were able just to walk around and enjoy ourselves without having, too much to worry about. In the evening, let's talk about it because you can have dinner at so many different places and you can have the most amazing experience. However, going to the Eiffel Tower at nighttime, for one, is gorgeous by itself. When it lights up, honestly, that's the view. Like, that's the view that, like, I literally, for a good little bit, I just stood there. I was like, this is a breath of fresh air. It's just nice. Again, when you go different places, it's nice just to take in the culture. It's nice just to take in where you are and just take in the moment. And that's where that view right there for the Eiffel Tower, that's at the very bottom of it. Before we actually had to get on the elevator to go up to the Madame restaurant, which they do a preset menu, obviously aside from having any dietary needs. And then once you're done with the dinner, you can walk around. You're like more like midways on the Eiffel Tower at this point, and then you can walk around it. And then when you're ready, you can take the elevator downstairs. The food was great, servers are amazing, and it's just a great view because it's Paris at night. And you kind of just see the city in a different view, to be honest with you. They do have some where if you wanted to do like extension all the way up to the summit, which is at the very tip, you can do that too and prearrange it so that you can have that experience as well. I will say because of the time of year, just keep that in mind because at the very top, it's cold when you're on the ground, but when you go up, you're even colder. So I would just say if you're going to or anything of that manner, just make sure, you're, dressed accordingly so that you don't have anything to worry about. So this one is day 5. So the Paris Eiffel Tower guided tour. So this one's actually it's actually one of the easiest ones. Doesn't take too much time to out of your day. But the best part is that you get a chance to take a ride to see the same way where I just told you in the other one about going all the way to the top. The guide actually meets you at the very bottom of the Eiffel Tower. They'll You have a group of people, you'll go up, they'll show you the midways, and then you go all the way up to the summit. There's a lot of different variations. Some of them do like a champagne toasting at the top. Other ones you can just walk around, take some pictures, things of that manner. I will say it depends on the day. This one was a little bit more cloudy. It was on and off raining. So that was the biggest thing. But honestly, you're in Paris, so why not? Day 6. This one we did so the same photographer. This was probably also the best weather day that we were also in Paris. And when I say that, it was breezy. Sometimes if we were in like the sun part of it, it started to get a little bit warm too. So definitely honestly with the weather, as everyone knows, it's kind of hit or miss, but most of the time it's gonna be colder. But like I said, this whole one of them, we're like, oh my gosh. We're like, it's amazing out here. We're like this is the sun was out. You felt like a little breeze. Sometimes it was like, sometimes it was cold, sometimes hot. It was just depending on where you were. But definitely same photographer. She did an amazing job. And definitely, like I said, recommend her at all costs. And then we continue. So we did the Paris Ultimate Food Tour. This was really nice. And I'll say it for a couple of reasons. The one thing was they really walk you through the different parts of Paris. They walk you through what you're seeing, what you're experiencing, everything of that manner. And on top of that, the food is great. They go about the history, everything of that manner. You can't go wrong. So definitely I do recommend having this experience because it really will just give you more closer to the culture. In addition to that, I will say you're almost stopping anywhere from about 9 to 11 different places between treats, drinks, food, soup. So don't let the sizing of them fool you because between that and the walking around with the history tour, hands down, you are full by the time you finish. So definitely. And it's also nice because it kind of almost gives you a backstory to some of the places you're going because some of these places aren't like big restaurants. They're not like where they have a lot or a lot like a big area. So some of them are places that are smaller and you're like, "Oh, I would have never knew this place had this." But when you eat the food and the experience, it's amazing. So definitely hands down recommend. No, I always recommend, and they have so many different variations of this too. So I have clients that have been multiple times, different times of the year, and they've always done it, but done a different variation of it because it's always a nice place because sometimes especially if they're a short amount of time or longer we'll actually do it in the beginning of the tour I mean beginning of the curated experience because then it allows if you liked anything you're like oh I wanna go back to that place. You're sold. Done. Then, with at the end of the experience, they have like a wine tasting, at the end of the food tour, and then it gives you still some time where you have the rest of the evening. They have this amazing tea in Paris, and the brand and the different flavors. So we went to the tea shop, got all these different things, and since it was also the holiday, they had a lot of holiday bundles too that was perfect and honestly, I couldn't have asked for a better way to end it before we headed out. Then that finally concluded our experience. We headed over to our next city that we traveled to in Europe. And like I said, it was definitely a great experience. Enjoyed it. Second time I've been there also during that time of the year. But it just depends on what you're looking to experience. And definitely let me know what your favorite part of Paris is, or if you haven't been, let me know what your favorite part would be when you go. On that note, I hope you enjoyed this. I truly enjoyed giving this, but also in addition to that, I also want to make sure that you go away with knowing a little bit more information. Plus, between my experiences and those of my clients, I definitely want to make sure you have a great review. With that being said, to the final conclusion to this amazing month, I am going to show you a full video of our experience that honestly, I couldn't have asked for a better trip for a number of reasons. But in that, please definitely like and subscribe the video. Stay tuned. We have so many more things in store for you. So many short videos for different destinations, so many highlights. So definitely keep updated and stay tuned. And just don't forget, my name is Taishita. I am the founder and CEO of Luxury Travels by Dreamy Designer Events, here to curate any of your travel dreams, whether it's for you, individual, private, company, or corporate, whether it's retreat, a getaway, event, or conference. We're here to make all of it reality and make sure that you have an ease time so you can just enjoy what makes the most importance when you guys are getaway. So here's the video, and I'll talk to you next month.
So when you bite, you have to close your mouth because they pass.
Okay.
Okay.